All right, welcome to another episode of Festool Fest. I'm Jay, your host, and this is the show that celebrates Festool, Festoolians in the Festiverse. I'm pretty excited today because I was able to get a new track saw, TS55 FEQ. This is the newest generation track saws that are available in the TS55 line. If you're not too familiar, the old TS55, the one that has the R number, actually has a blade with a kerf of 2.2 millimeters wide, which is a little bit longer and is a little bit slower. This new version has a kerf of 1.8 millimeters. The thinner kerf allows the track saw to cut faster and cleaner than the previous generation. Now, I've been thinking about what kind of track saw should I get. Should I get the TS55, TS60? The guys at Woodcraft in Baltimore were kind of like, if you get the newest one, the TS60 is the way to go. All the new features, a jam stop feature that's electronic built into it, greater power, same kerf blade, a little bit deeper cutting space, like a 1/4 inch deeper cut. It also can be compatible with the same tracks that are being used on the HK circular saws. But you're also paying a premium for that one. Money is always a concern, so this one, if you were to buy it just the tool alone, is $599. The TS60 is more, so if you get the TS60 and you get the track that comes with it, you're pushing up close to $1,000, which is not a little bit of money. So straight from the factory, the TS55 comes in two different setups. First is the TS55 FEQ F Plus, and includes the saw, the sustainer, and all of the little accessories that come with it, saw blade, stop, cord, and all that. The second way it comes, for $100 more, is the TS55 FEQ Plus -FS. That FS means that it comes with a track, the FS 1400/2. And that's what I got. Here is that track, all brand new. Let's actually get into it and see what's inside the box. So I'm going to open the sustainer. So first thing is the plug-in cable. Now this plug-in cable, if you look at it, is a little bit different. It does not have this top notch here. So there's a bottom notch, and then there's usually a top spindle. The ones that come on my ETS sanders have this notch. See that notch? I didn't know this when I started, but these are actually two different types of plug-in cables. The one that does not have the top notch actually allows more current flow. Based on the look of it, the ones without the notch have a thicker cable, larger gauge, so allows more current to flow through where this one doesn't. I learned about this when I was using Matt's TS75. I could not get this plug-in cable to fit into it because it had this notch on top, which prevented it from being plugged into the tool. This has been my standard cable from the ETSC. We'll now go back into its sustainer, and this will replace it on the actual CT MIDI. All right, let's get out. Let's get into the saw. Oh, all right, here it is. This is the TS55. Yeah, there's a lot of features on here. I haven't even learned all the features. You can do different types of bevel cuts. You can go one degree this way. You can go up to, how do I do this? Yeah. You can do up to 45 degrees this way. Actually, you can go to 47 if you just press this button here, I think. Somehow we can go to 47. I have to refer to Sedge since I just picked this up this morning. But there is a depth gauge. Just squeeze and pull it up. And then you could set your depth gauge this way. You've also, on the back here, you've got a speed dial. So if you need to increase or decrease the actual rotation speed of the tool, you can do that here. Then you've got your 2-position trigger, and this allows it to plunge, right? So that opens the gate for plunging. Now, if you want to replace the tool, what you do is you plunge it down, push it down, pull on this fast fix, which will lock it open, and then now the arbor is exposed to you, so you unscrew. You can use the onboard 5mm Allen key to loosen the arbor and take off and replace the blade. One of also the interesting features about this is if you look here, there is a line that's back here, and there is a line in this dust guard that's right there. This particular one has the clear dust guard that you can pull down and use it on the track to help control your dust. But this line is the outline, and this is the inline when you're doing full depth plunges. When you fully plunge, if you wanted to cut out a space on a board, you would fully, so you put in position, line this up to where you want to insert your cut. Then once you start your saw, lower, plunge the bit, and as you move forward, this line here is the out. So once you reach the point that you want to stop that cut, stop with that line, pull it out, and you've got a perfectly accurate cutout. Now there's a couple other features. There's of course the dust port, which you use here. This can also be taken off. So if you want to take this off, secure this to the hose before, yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of notch here, so you can secure that to your hose, twist that on really well, and then come back and connect it. That's the easy way to do it. And then also this port is also articulating, so it allows you to move that around. Other features that it comes with are a guide stop. So the guide stop actually works by putting it on the track. Let's loosen that up a bit. We'll slide that onto the track. Tighten that down. And this will act as a stop on either end. You can get another one. Actually, I'll probably buy another one. But this will act as a stop so that when you want to have a place to stop, or conversely, a point to begin your cut, you can. There's also another dust window in here. Actually, it's not a dust window, but a dust cover that you can now substitute for the clear one. And if you want to cut down on that, you do want to pull down this window before you start to cut. Oh, whoops. Oh, how does that go back together? Just a little bit. And now by putting this down here, that'll help to control more of the dust. Now another thing you want to check out here, there is a window here for the arbor change. Online you can buy these covers that are 3D printed, or 3D print your own, or even just put some tape. Now they say there is some more ejection that happens on the side of the track, and Festool does sell an additional cover that you will slide on here that will help control that. That's an additional $77 in case you're interested. When you're finally setting up the track, you're gonna place the saw on the track, and you're gonna see there's gonna be a little bit of wobble. So there's these two green screw nuts that you can screw down. We're gonna screw them all the way down until the saw doesn't wanna move, and then we're gonna loosen them until the saw does move. It's gonna remove the slop from the saw. Maybe a little bit looser is good. All right, excellent, that's great. Okay, so now here's the thing. This particular track is brand new. Now, if you were to buy this from your Festool dealer, that would not be a question. But in this case, I actually bought this saw combination used from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. He just bought it like a month ago, and he wanted to upgrade to the TSC55, which is the dual 18-volt battery-powered version of the TS55. In the listing, I think he said he used it once, but looking at this saw, I don't think he used it at all. It looks perfectly brand new. So I was able to get a really good deal on it. I ended up getting this for $550, which is about $150 off for a brand new saw that really hasn't been used. He did say it was used once, but this is a brand new saw. So when you first use your track saw on the Festool, you're going to actually set it, and you're actually going to cut off this rubber material on the edge. That will be the actual representation of where the blade is actually cutting on this track for this saw. So that later when you place this on your material, you can know that this line, this long piece of rubber, is where that blade is going to cut. And you can use that as a very accurate reference, which is what I think sets the Festool track and the Festool system above the rest. If you're thinking about the TS55, I think it's a great way to go. It is the most affordable of the plunge track saws that are out there. You can get the HK models, the HK55s, which is basically like a circular saw that doesn't have a plunge. It's got the guard that wraps around. It looks very much like the kind of circular saw you're used to, and that can be had for, I think, about another $100 less than this one. But that's really for a whole different kind of application, more geared towards construction, deck building, and things like that. You can also get it with the track, which has some kind of spring-loaded feature where it will reset so you can do repeated cuts over and over again. You'll have to watch more YouTube videos about that to really understand it better than I can explain it. So the next thing I want to talk about is buying used Festool. We can all acknowledge that Festool is one of the more pricey tool systems on the market. There is no real denying that. But there is a certain benefit from using them that I think is worth that extra money. But money is always in short supply, so sometimes you want to look for used gear. If you go on to places like Facebook Marketplace, different classified sections, you can find Festool tools being sold from different individuals. I think the key to Festool purchasing is to know the tools as much as you can. Know what they cost new, know what kind of value they have in whatever current condition they happen to be in. This tool, for example, is brand new, probably a month old. The reality is it's never been used. But one of the things that I was asking, have you registered this tool? He had not. Do you still have the receipt? He said he does. He also bought it from a local retailer, so that shouldn't be too hard to track down. Those were the things that are really important to me. When you buy brand new gear from Festool, you get a 3-year warranty that covers everything. So if the tool fails for whatever reason, you send it back, they fix it or send you a new one. It's part of the reason why you're going to pay so much money for a Festool product. If you buy your tool directly from a Festool dealer, your 3 years starts from the time of purchase. And that's what I wanted to know is, when does the 3 years start for this tool? Should start about a month ago. And when you register your tools with Festool, you have to send them the T number, the serial number, as well as the proof of purchase in a form of like a JPEG or something like that. When I go to Festool and say, hey, this is the tool that I just purchased, here's all the information that you need, please register it. Now, you can buy the tools without worrying about any of those things, and that's a perfectly reasonable way to go. What you just need to remember is that as the tool gets older, and as they're outside the warranty, that should play a role in how much you're willing to pay for any particular tool. Now, there's some tools that are super rare, like this VacSys system, the one that has the vacuum board holding system. When those came out, I think they were like over $2,000, $3,000. When Festool discontinued them, suddenly everybody wants one, and now the price is still $3,500. In the case of these TS55, there's a lot of them out there, and you gotta look around and see what was the manufacturing date, what kind of condition is it in. Sometimes you find people that have their tools and they're in all kinds of rough shape, right? And so, is it worth it? Like I saw this one guy trying to sell an old CT22 dust extractor for $450. It's worn, it looks kind of rough, but $450? For $35 more, you can buy a new CT25 that still has the full warranty and all the modern accessories. So it doesn't make any sense to pay that kind of money. Those kind of things should be rated in accordance with their condition. I saw one guy trying to sell the old TS55 REB made in 2016, and in the ad he said it doesn't even work. He wanted $450, and I was like, that's craziness. That's not commensurate with the reality of the tool. Then sometimes you find people that actually are more cognizant of the actual value of their tool. One guy that I saw in Philadelphia, he had a Capex 120 that he had been using for many years. He had been beating the heck out of it. He beat this down. He said these are all the problems with it. Sometimes the motor doesn't work. It probably needs to get sent back to Festool. But if you're willing to take a risk on it, it works pretty good. $300. For a $1,500 saw, $300 might be worth the risk. So these are just some thoughts for you to think about. If you're considering going into the used market for Festool, don't just get swept up by a lower price. Consider the other factors. How old is the tool? When was the tool purchased? Is the warranty still available? Can you transfer the warranty? Like, for example, I've got this top rock here that I bought on the used market as well. When I called Festool to register it, they said it had already been registered, and that I would need to get the person that had registered it originally to transfer registration to me. Wouldn't be a problem, but I just needed to have them do that. So when I reached out back to the buyer that I met on Facebook Marketplace, I never heard back. So in case this goes wrong within the first 3 years, I'll just be SOL. But I did get this at a very good deal, $100 versus $240 for the original price. That, it's kind of worth the risk. And I wouldn't be horrified if it did die today. I'd be upset, but I wouldn't be terribly horrified. All right, well, that's pretty much it for today. I hope this helps give you some insight into both the TS55 and whether or not it might be a great saw for you to consider. I do think it's an awesome saw. I was told by the guys at Woodcraft to think about getting the TS60 because of the bigger blade. It gets better depth. It's got, more modern features, more power. It's got the kickback protection. But at the end of the day, I can live with a 1/4 inch less depth and a little bit less power. So I'm very pleased with this TS55 FEQ. Thanks very much for tuning in, and see you next time.